You know, it's always a pleasure when I, as the director of the Music Commission, can welcome sons and daughters back and to honor them for what they've accomplished. And today, obviously, we're here to honor one of our homegrown heroes, Joe Walsh. Right? You know, Joe is known, as we all know, nationally and internationally for his innovative guitar playing, his songwriting, being a founding member of the iconic group, the James Gang, his successful solo albums, and of course, being a member of the Eagles. But Joe's also known for his philanthropy, and in particular, his penchant for supporting our veterans. In a day and an age when so many artists squander the opportunity to raise their voices and speak out and try to make a positive difference in this world, Joe has never subscribed to that club. I had the pleasure of working with Joe, I won't say how many years ago, but on an album he made called Ordinary Average Guy. And one thing I can state for sure is Joe Walsh is no ordinary average guy. And now I'd like to relinquish the microphone and the podium to our esteemed President of our City Council, Shannon Hardin.
What a great day in Columbus. Here. Let's give it up for Mr. Joe Walsh. There's so much to celebrate. We're so grateful for all that you do. Bruce was talking about, let's give it up for Bruce Garfield. Bruce is making sure there's no question that Columbus is a music city, and we're very grateful for him. But thank you all. Thank you to our mayor. Thank you to everyone who made today a reality. You know, I love music, and folks think just because I'm a little younger to be council president that I might not, get down to Joe Walsh. But the thing is, let's go tell everybody that in Ohio, this is Joe Walsh country. This is a Joe Walsh city. Thinking about some of your great hits from Funk Number 49, Life's Been Good, A shout out actually also to Director Marchbank, who is also here, Director of the Department of Transportation for the state of Ohio, who used to be a disc jockey. He still is a disc jockey, so that's why he's serious. He's a serious music guy. And you even got the Buckeye guy out, too. Yeah. You even got the Buckeye guy out. But I was walking down the halls, and I won't tell you which hall, City Hall, but I could hear Funk Number 49 playing in our City Hall. It was the mayor's hallway. Let me just tell you that. But we're grateful for you. We are grateful for you. We're grateful for you for coming home. We're grateful for this concert that you're hosting, bringing all of these world-class Ohio acts together to celebrate our veterans. The mayor and I just left a lunch recognizing the nearly 900 city employees that are veterans that have served. And at that luncheon, folks were talking about the concert this weekend, so we are very grateful. It is, again, we're so excited to be here. We're so excited to honor you today, Joe. I have a resolution on behalf of my colleagues on council that I want to present to you. But as I introduce our mayor to come up and say a few words, I'd also introduce him to come up and we want to present you with the plaque that recognizes the name of change in the city. Let's help me recognize Mayor Ginther.
Thank you, President Hardin, and it is so great to be with you. I was telling Joe and Marjorie they get all the credit. It was the last time they were here in Columbus in November and needed to wear sunblock out here. It's absolutely fabulous and glorious, a great day for us to celebrate Joe and his incredible accomplishments, his connection to the city. We already know about his musical accomplishments, inductee of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, recipient of 5 Grammy Awards, a Kennedy Center honoree, one of the world's most respected and best guitarists. But today we're here to celebrate one of Joe's other passions, Vets Aid, a national nonprofit, 501c nonprofit that raises and disperses money sorely needed to fund veterans groups around the country. So this group was founded by Joe in 2017. So in 5 years, they've dispersed over $2 million to veteran-serving nonprofits. Pretty powerful. Now more than ever, our veterans deserve our support, our gratitude, and resources. And while we can never repay them for their sacrifices, we can certainly make sure they have access to established and tested veterans-based charities that take care to provide complete and holistic care for veterans and their families. That's why we're so excited and proud to host Vets Aid 2022 right here in Columbus. And we're so thankful that this year all grant recipients are either based in Ohio or must use their funds for Ohio programming, a great thing for Ohio veterans. And so as we celebrate our veterans this week, let's also celebrate those who spend their time and resources helping veterans. We thank you, Joe, for your tireless advocacy and your entire family's sacrifice and support. And we're proud to proclaim, there are lots of cool things you get to do as mayor. Well, one of them is to proclaim today Joe Walsh Day in the city of Columbus.
Wow. I got my own day, too.
Can you hear okay?
Thank you, Mayor Ginther, Council President Harden, who gets the award for the best socks today. And Commissioner Garfield, welcome. And thank you for the warm welcome, and to the entire City Council for having the courage to put me in front of a microphone without a guitar. That's risky, but I promise, Mr. Mayor, I promise I'll behave. I'm also grateful for elected officials because there's great honor in public service, and we are grateful for what you do. To the veterans who are out there and able, looking for a new mission, please look to public service. As a kid in a family that moved around a fair amount, it's difficult to answer someone squarely exactly where I'm from. I was born in Wichita, Kansas, and as a sidebar, my grandmother's maiden name was Clark, and my great uncle, the family called him Grandpa Joe Clark, delivered me. I'll get back to that later and you'll see why. My father, mother, and I were in Okinawa. My father was in the Army Air Force before there was an Air Force. And he was killed in flight maneuvers. So I have always been a Gold Star kid. And that has a lot to do with my concern for veterans. That was a long time ago. I got a stepfather who always had my back. We spent some time in Evanston, Illinois. I went to junior high school in New York City. And I didn't belong there, believe me. And I ended up in high school in New Jersey. But my happiest childhood memories most certainly came from my days spent here on Summit Street in a little house when my stepdad took a job at Nationwide Insurance. That was in 1956. The next year my parents ordered me, after bothering them for months, a Silvertone acoustic guitar for $30 from Sears Roebuck catalog. And after waiting endlessly For 3 weeks it arrived, and I was the happiest and coolest 10-year-old in Ohio, in my mind at least. Now, I could only play 2 strings at a time, but there was a disc jockey in that part of my life in Columbus, and his name was Dr. Bop, and he was on radio station WCOL. Dr. Bop on the scene with a sack of shellac and a record machine. And I'll never forget him. He was such a big influence for my love for radio, and he played the cream of the crop of the doo-wop and the 50s music. And so I started my 10,000 hours on guitar listening to Dr. Bop every night. And that's a huge influence on me. That whole pre-1960 rock and roll era and the music. And later, I wrote a song called Indian Summer about this. About this kind of weather in the fall. Whenever I'm enjoying a curiously sunny day, I'm reminded of Columbus. One of my best friends and my oldest friend, Terry Hatzo, still lives here. I've known him since 1956, and we were hellraisers. That was the summer before I really discovered girls. But we had BB gun wars, and we had snowball battles with guys 3 blocks away. And Terry Hatzo and I we were in this gang, but we weren't that tough because I had to be in by 7:30. Anyway, Columbus is still part of my life, and Terry Hatzo is here. He couldn't make it today because today he's the great-grandfather of a new son. Great-great-grandson, I guess. Something like that. So my love and fond memories of Ohio drew me back to Ohio for college. I went to Kent State, where I would eventually end up joining the James Gang from Cleveland. And it's his fault right there. Jim Fox from the James Gang, and I would probably work in a White Castle now if it wasn't for you. Thank you, Jim. And the rest, they say, is history. We broke on through and terrorized the Midwest for a number of years. When we made the decision to bring Vets Aid home, I didn't have to think too long or too hard about what the word meant for me. Although the James Gang was from Cleveland, the childhood I was blessed with to have, and the kind of childhood I wish for every child, took place right here in Columbus, in the heart of Ohio. Those were great days. No cell phones, no computers, no internets, 3 TV stations. The summer took forever. And Indian summer would come in November. Yep. And those formative years had so much to do with me after I grew up, because I had time to be 10. And kids don't have that anymore. And that's such an important part of growing up. I also believe in the rich musical and cultural tradition that Ohio offers. It's why our show Sunday features all Ohio musicians. Dave Grohl, the 9 Inch Nails, the Black Keys, and the Breeders, all monumental musicians that forged paths in their respective forms of rock and roll, and I'm honored to welcome them to my adopted hometown. and for us to show the rest of the world that Ohio always has and always will rock. This, my own street, is, in my own day, is a profound honor that a 10-year-old Joe Walsh could never have imagined. Now, I want to get back to my grandmother's maiden name, Clark. In 1847, John Clark took 800 acres on the Big Walnut Creek and founded the city of Gahanna. And that was a great, 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 great grandfather. So, this is the second street in our family because Clark State Road was named after John. Isn't that right, Mr. Buckeye? Yes, I check all my facts with him. So the Clark family is a big part of Columbus and Gahanna, and so I am home. I am home. Please support our veterans, support each other. God bless Ohio, God bless America, and God bless Mr. Buckeye. And thank you very much.
We're not doing anything right now, sir. If you don't mind, stand over there for us, please. Thank you, guys.
Who else gets one?
Michael Brown. Michael Brown, who put this whole thing together.
Okay, that's fine. Whatever you guys
Mr. Buckeye gets one.
It's nice to meet a fellow Golden Flash.
I got one more.
Everything good?
Yeah, we're good. Thank you.
I run the Department of Veteran Services in the state of Ohio. I'm just so grateful that you take this notion. I mean, that
Yes.
where did your father? Yet you recognize the sacrifices not only he made, but all ours in the first family. I'm so grateful.
We don't want the video.
Well, thank you very much. And I'll see more of you.